Welcome back to you for another most special, most yummy update, friends. We are in that little interim period right now where Bitcoin is pretty much struggling around the 120K, but it's not really a struggle. What's actually happening is Bitcoin dominance is on its way to pretty much capitulate and go down. Hopefully, it's boy who cried wolf, right? Over all these thousands of years of what it feels like. But everyone is in this distribution phase. Now, here's the thing. In crypto, the way the cycles work, just based on price action and stuff before, is you don't know where the point of inflection is going to happen and the alt season will happen, okay? In the past, it happened at Bitcoin's all-time high break. So up here, that's number one. And then also when it finally stops at higher number two. With our cycle, we got cucked. The business cycle, instead of cranking up here in a Bitcoin halvening year, the business cycle stayed down. So instead, we've had to wait all this period of time over and oh my gosh, death. And here we are up here. So Bitcoin is now 2x its all-time high, around the 120K. And finally, you can see it's starting to distribute and pretty much, you know, Ethereum is starting to catch up and everything out here. Now, you don't know that price zone, right? So in 2021 and our cycle now, 2024 cycle, it was when Bitcoin was 2x its all-time high that altcoins started to catch up. In the next cycle, it probably won't be that. I mean, it could be worse than that, but most likely what I think is it's going to be better. I think it's not going to require Bitcoin going 2x the all-time high. Maybe next cycle, it's going to have a shock move and it's either at all-time high or even more shocking, like 70% at the all-time high, just because of how everyone, I'm guessing, might be positioned in the next cycle with how much PTSD there is. I've got more yummy updates coming your way. LibertySwap Finance is making it easier to join PulseChain. Here's LibertySwap with all their connections out here. So they have Cuckening, Binance, Meth, Pui, Solana, Robinhood. There are more chains being connected as well up here. So that's what makes it easy. You just go to one site, everything hooks up and you can pretty much come in. Now, they've also made some amazing posts. Also, shout out to the mod community as well. Don't forget your pictures, cousins. Don't forget your pictures, sir. GM, 18 hours a day intern. Yeah, so what's Mr. Crypto Dalty? Shout out to Dalty Boo as well. LibertySwap Finance, they made this post. They said they've got an intern working 18 hours a day. And I'm wondering if I'm an unofficial intern. Because, yeah, here's the thing, friends. A lot of crypto projects get done on PulseChain. There's just something different about it. You know as well, friends, Richard Hart, when I was talking to that Miss Teen Crypto years ago on the interview stream, she said, how many devs do you have? And he said 14 on the team. 14, okay? LibertySwap Finance replied to somebody on Twitter. They said, hey, how many people are in the team? And LibertySwap Finance said 15. Right? Which means, I guess, 14 plus Richard Hart himself, maybe. So this has really been taken storm out here. But I hope this doesn't rug, bro. I hope it doesn't. I hope it doesn't rug. Please, man, don't. Like, I think this is so critical. You know, just to let you know, friends. You know, Pete I's thing going to zero. This is way infinitely more important. Because Pete I was like, yeah, it's never really confirmed. It's first cycle unicorn. We get it. This is actual infrastructure. Like, you can't play games with this. Yeah, you can't. You can't actually play games with this one. That's why I'd like this feels like dangerous stuff. It's almost like imagine Chainlink with all the Oracle feed. Imagine Chainlink come out and say, oopsies, we got a lot of bugs with our stuff, right? So, you know what I mean? When it comes to infrastructure, because like you're dealing with things that, you know, require a lot of trust that they work. And if you want hundreds of millions of dollars to come in, billions of dollars to come in, they really have to trust that the bridge works and everything works. And there's none of these like, you know, games back and forth. Now, I'm sure you've seen it by now, friends. I got blocked by Udi for posting this in his reply. He's done another one of his posts. So pretty much what he spends all day doing is pashing his boyfriend, Eric Wall, down the throat. But every once in a while, it'll take 15 minutes of the day from pashing Eric to come and write an essay to FUD pretty much Ethereum. And he just wrote this long essay about Ethereum, and he uses the N-word, narrative, Ethereum's garbage and everything out here. And all I did was, but I didn't even do anything. I literally just posted his essay, right? I posted his essay and I just drew a square of where he's posting the essay on ETH BTC, and that's it. No opinion, no nothing. I've just drawn a box. Here's your essay. Here's your box. You know why you block me after something like that, friends? You want to know why? Right? It's because deep down, you know you're about to get cucked. Like, you're in the hotel cuck chair. Yeah? The camera guy, he just started filming. That's your wife on the bed? Who are those 4 dudes? Don't know their names. Pick them up off the street. You know you're about to get cucked right then and there. You know what I mean? Like, you know. To add to this, friends, kind of funny. So, how many times I've been telling you for the past year, every single person in crypto is overly leveraged long BTC and overly leveraged long soy. It's priced in. They're priced in for perfection and favorites, right? More proof. Joe McMann, who I reported earlier, he said he's shutting down his asymmetric liquid fund over backlash of being down 78% this year. Now, I've made my posts here earlier. Why? So remember, fans, he went on to Scott Melker's podcast and many other podcasts. He's been invited as well. So he did a sick trade. Okay, so he has a fund. He did a sick trade where he believed it was obvious to him. This is why, friends, you got to be careful. Okay, Marcus. He said he's so obvious, he's so great that Solana was going to win this cycle, and he believed it in 2023. So instead of just longing soy, which is what he did, he got Bonk as the leverage meme coin on Solana. So he hit it out of the park because Bonk did 30x on soy, and soy went up hard, right? So Bonk did like that 200x move, which is amazing. But then I guess it got to his head. And then the higher Bitcoin dominance went, him and I guess Ben Copen sucking each other off going, Bitcoin dominance will go up forever. Bitcoin dominance is going to keep going. Ethereum down to 0. Ethereum will go home down to $400 over and over and over again. And you know what? It's okay, bro. Celebrate your victory. Celebrate. I'm just telling everybody else who isn't making money the same way you are, which is you and me, everyone else. I'm just telling you, I warned you about stuff like this back in 2022 and 2023. I said, during a bull market cycle, there will be people who have won on a big idea, right? Or they're just making money somewhere. And what people will unfortunately do, okay, they start circling around that person and they seek answers, right? And they just flock to them. They go, oh, I want to make money like you. What do I do? What do I do? And the person goes, I know, subscribe to me. I know, here's a liquid fund for you to buy into. I'll trade for you. I'm amazing. And I warned and I said, listen, man, okay, listen. And this is coming from a guy who literally pegs his own nipples on the internet, okay? I said, there's a very high chance when you come across someone good, they're on a very hot streak, right? Because you don't know who the hell these people were a year ago or before that, right? They get paraded all around, the interviews and stuff out here. So there's a very high chance their attention, their skill level is like peaking, right? They're like an RSI 90 and you've just discovered them. You're basically FOMO buying into them. And what you don't know is that their real win rate is like 50 to 60%. Yeah, on average. Right now, they're on a 90% win. So people come in and they go, oh, you're winning 90%, you're going to keep winning 90%. But actually what happens is, friends, this happens every time. But do you know how many times I've subscribed to someone? I'm like, you know what? This guy's winning. Let me try. Let me see. Every single time. You name them, I've followed them. You name them, I bought their stuff. I went in. I'm like, oh, wow, let me guess. This guy's going to start losing. Friends, I got to the point where, I'm not going to tell you their names. Forget them, okay? But I'm like, any bet this guy's going to start losing now that I'm in. Now that I'm watching, and I'm just going to like follow the stuff. It's every time, bro. Every time. I know you used to think, oh, are we just cursed? No, dude. It's just their real win rate is like 60%. They're up at 90, so they're going to like mean revert back down to 50, 60% somehow. So then they just start taking big losses. Okay, happens every time. Okay, so ETH Maxis are going to have a field day. So he's basically short Ethereum under 2,000, coming out bragging about it. Says now he has to close his funds. He also said that no, we're actually winning because we're farming a hyperliquid airdrop, which is it's kind of funny, man. Look, this is a funny part, bro. How do you go out and shit all over Ethereum, and then one day literally one day of losing, because you've been winning for a long time, you have like one day a post of yours goes viral of someone else because they're like, hey, I subscribed to this guy who's meant to be winning. We're down 78% on the year because we're short on Ethereum. We're long Solana on the ratio, getting blown to pieces. He's basically like, oh, I can't take it anymore. I'm out. See, friends, you know these funds, their skill is not what you think. A lot of these guys' skill is grabbing other people's money. Do you know that? Because they're earning performance fees and stuff. That's what most of their skill is. You pluck anybody, that's what their skill is. Their skill is to talk to investors. That's their skill. You know, friends, I'd be the worst money manager ever because if people gave me money, okay, and I don't want people's money, but if they did, I wouldn't even pick up the phone. Right? I would say, go and truck yourself. What did I tell you, bro? When it's done, it's done. When the job's done, I'll call you. Don't call me. Don't waste my time. You know what I mean? It doesn't work for investors. Investors are like, oh, do you still think it's good? Oh, I read something in an article saying we might have an early recession. You know what I mean? So it takes a lot of energy to do it. It's a different skill set, Habibi. It's a different skill set, friends. The skill set I'm looking at is this breaking news that came here today. Congressman Frost has claimed the White House is about to drop proof of aliens. Say it with me now. Alien SuperCycle confirmed. I told you, my prophecy is coming, friends. They're going to drop it. They're going to drop it. Now, it's funny. People are saying it's sarcastic. Both go stuff yourself. Look at this. Wild. Congressman Frost is claiming the White House is preparing to release concrete evidence of extraterrestrial life. Frost's aliens comment was in response to Wall Street Journal regarding Donald Trump's name being in the Epstein files. So that's funny, friends. Look at this. No, you are so special for predicting this. It's not a small country, but you did make the call. The real SuperCycle is the Jinn SuperCycle. Friends, do you want to know something interesting about, because that's Hodlonomics, right, from PDI Community. He's converted to Islam. That is very interesting. You know, in Islam, okay, they get everybody to recite the Quran, right, and not write it down. So you memorize the Quran, right? And do you want to know why? It's because in their tradition teachings, they said, look, reptilian jinn, right? So whatever they are, that dark force, they can manipulate stuff. They can change words. They can change words, change objects. Basically deception, right? But they can't change your memory. So if you recite it, nothing can ever get changed in the book. It's interesting how that type of deception, chameleon stuff, it's been passed down for such a long time. You know who was talking about it as well, friends? It was one of the podcasts where there's this Indian dude. He is amazing. He's been doing all the science experiments to figure out whether we live in the Matrix or not. And he's been confirming, yeah, we do. He goes, everything that would need to be present for a simulation is present in our universe. When you go down to the particles, everything looks like lattice pixels. And a lot of the stuff that occurs where you and me see stuff, it's rendered when we observe. That's how a video game works. Do you know that? Like, friends, you ever played Silent Hill PS1? Silent Hill on the PS1, friends. So, obviously, this game literally scared the living shit out of me. Do you know, friends, I was literally, okay, don't laugh. When I was a kid, I was too scared to hang a poop after 7 o'clock at night when no one was home. Because I was so scared of this game. This game gave me the most freaking, talk about psychological horror. Friends, this game, do you understand? I bought multiple guides for this game because I was so scared. Do you know what I would do is, I was so scared to play it, I would read where I have to go like 5 times in the magazine. I have to go through this door and then that door before I would even unpause the game. That's how scared I was, okay? Kind of funny. So this game, why it got popular, right? Do you see the fog in the background? The PS1, it couldn't render stuff because it's obviously that technology and stuff back then. So what the game developers did, genius, they made the fog and the mist as part of the game. So it would only render as you would move forward. So it looks like it's a hazy mist and it would add to the horror. But actually what's happening is just that the PS1 was sluggish and it couldn't load everything. So it's like you could only see like a couple of meters in front of you, right? But what they found that in simulation stuff is that's actually our reality right now. Things are only rendered when you and I observe it, right? It's kind of amazing. I want to give you another yummy update. This is one of the most yummiest updates of all, friends. Binance Wallet, man, they're just, friends, I swear they're playing with us, dude. Look at this. Binance Wallet, Twitter, said, have you Binanced? And it's literally a heart. It's a yellow heart. So like, it's just so weird, man. Remember Heartcoin? And it's the Hyperloop. And now Coinbase and Kraken are all doing the sideways Hyperloop. It's interesting, right? It's all happening. I don't know, man. I don't know. We'll see. Look at this. If all these cryptic messages are Richard Hart, the dude is seriously a marketing genius. Yeah, man. Look, I don't know. It could all turn out to be nothing, you know, just like everything else. But I'm personally, I know I'm biased, but I'm personally in favor of all our bags pumping. I've just refreshed PulseChain core coin prices. Dog shit wrapped in cat shit over here. Pretty much doing nothing as well. Rubbish. So, yeah, I guess we're skitzing around. And, yeah, we need friendship times to come. Now, I've got to remind you of something as well. A lot of people, friends, like Blockchain Backer thinks it's all over soon. You know what I mean? He goes, first we're going to go up only, and then we're going to go down only, and it's all over, right? Up to here and up to here. Look, PMI is still below 50, bro. Right? PMI is still below 50. And every time there is world-changing technology, it always ends in a mania. So, like, think about the risk, by the way. You know, if you're wrong and you sell early and it really does run into a mania, you can't get this again, dude. It's like selling early in the tech bubble. Like, because it goes so far, then it bursts, then there's like the longest recession ever for the stock market to come back to all-time high. It takes like 6 to 7 years for it to come back. Just to show you what I'm talking about. Right here. This is the S&P 500, friends. This is the tech bubble. It goes up and up and up and up and up and up. Like, imagine you're selling around here if crypto was around. But then it goes up for another year and we have like the biggest alt season stuff ever. You've missed this whole part. Now you have to wait for it all to retrace, then capitulate, then Great Depression scares, then QE. My God, do you know how long that is, by the way? That's, friends, you're waiting like 3 years, man, for the next... Like, you just missed it. You missed it. That's why the stakes are very, very high. And every time there's world-changing technology, it ends in a mania. And you might be wondering, hey, Sommi, but are the sex robots coming? You tell me, brother. You tell me. You tell me. Now you might say, but Sommi, that's AI. And I'm like, oh, so you just proved my point even more? Can you believe that's AI? Like, do you understand, friends? I'm just telling you this. Look, right now we're in the hardware stuff. It's kind of like the early internet. Oh, IBM and computer chips. It's like nerd stuff. But then eventually you have something where like it hits retail and they're like, oh, I am now optimistic about the next 10 years of the future. We haven't hit that moment yet. Yeah, a lot of people out there in the economy, they're still fading AI and on quantum and the sex robots and stuff out here, right? So it's a sex robot super cycle. Okay, I still I still believe it. Oh, man. So something's going to come out and make everyone go like, oh, wow, productivity is really going to increase. It might be shocking us. You never know. Maybe the unemployment rate goes up because so many companies are using AI and they've just like wiped 15% of their workforce because they've just automated everything. We'll see. We're building into it. Like, subscribe, belly button all. Catch you in the next one.